I was young as I'm in our club of you and from Oheneba Media. So, yes, I had to say the big and share Mobono, say non Konobo Pahusimana, Juno Crona. You better not say now United Showbiz, yeah, the extended version at the Abram, and then a fire for fire. We jump home a UTV so na Nina no Benya Felane, a year immune deep down breakdown in Oheneba Media. What am I for if you didn't go to baby? I'm in a hair. It's answer, you know, be too quiet, you're quite tinting. And some poor and some big and some like I say, Ashimuse ma bim. Now, I was your celebrity, I mean, waste too time. A year upon 4 near Bidafo, Atanasi, a year that Lumba. No, you won't and she share things to Mammy Akosua and a court or coye, and make Korea City, one for justice, a ladyship. Dorinda Smith at a church, and then somebody I call to know. But everything in a quarter trash can mono. And then, a lawyer for Kukudam, you not say with UTV. Our bedo so and 7 be paper my autopsy. I share the
injunction. Yes, starting
on Akosua se one nsem no ye boni nyina e de etugu sa eso so na pamfo ka ho a obi a ebetwere na adwen e wo so nen se mebekọ so no ye benya daje ni makoma se quotation ana se kwase de di kan communion Pentecost aso dem enu ntini time chuku na tena se e wo Oheneba Media so o comment ni so no fabra ye bekin kan e de am e repepem e live show enti ye no e bi di enkuta ho abre na abre nyina se kwan ba mu a ye be bie phone lines ni so atum na wafre e de wadwen kire aba medin e de nkrofo da sebre busua yankwe na yankohe de ekoso e wo United Showbiz so ye wi a e ho nsem ye de bebre as en ho na show na egusu koso meti ha ko si ye be ponte na me no na edisa enkomo nyina yankohe bi mra
we take all the motions over table no do nti e bia na injunction e be capacity e be security for be determine you know. It's a donor your injunction application. No, there was opinion lawyers and they will withdraw. One withdraw one capacity motion or filing. Yes, or challenge. I could just do no can and only two put there. Over someone a working a bush opinion or dobrunina funeral home for no kind of withdraw. Inti what kind of withdraw the night to the condemn there or there what can you move any injunction application. Inti this is a movie injunction application. In fact, case in it was time bound. If Serwaa not that time, since a Lumba, you know, it had been scheduled for sit to say BB December. Yes, in there. It had been scheduled for sit. Into time was of the essence. Into missing a movie motion. Into I can say it took a lot of hours. Now for responding, they raise issues of documentation, one notarized. In fact, I will never come into details. Okay. It seems that is the main aim. Okay. Yes. No. So, any prelims, no, that was on the injunction. Okay. The long and short of it was based on decided cases, and the legal system, no, Ghanaian legal system, no, were based on principle be a friend of stare decisis. In Siaka stare decisis or chede ma at the dofun mo become fun why shedona yebi. In see aduko ye na there. The main principle behind stare decisis in the day. They want you to be able to determine your matter. In Siamfan de bia MCA ya boa or did the case you the court no. That was the response and that was the judgment. So it makes you to also predict what will happen. So it brings certainty about the law. As I say, it makes you to be able to predict that, okay, say if the MCA what the court and they know here there, then definitely I'm the man they know be. So you are able to predict the law, you follow the law. It's based on decided cases. In fact, one thing or other mechanism when it comes to injunction applications based on the discretion of the courts. And if I remember correctly, my lady Dorinda Smith, the court made it clear there. All money ruling, or money clear there. She is not bound by precedent, but she is guided by rules. And I sided with her because her discretion. So what it means is that, Sebiana, another the case or the koi, injunction, it is likely that any case might have some slight difference with regards to fact. Also, case I could seek injunction. So the judge who has the fact or who has been presented with the fact might decide that okay, so the may not ensure them the more in so discretionary when it comes to injunction or discretionary. You can get it today, another case about that's a fact is slightly different and you might decide on far more. But when it comes to restraining urban the injunction on ifuna the court is quite very cautious because it seems 2024 so they will know what the practice direction or that in take a practice direction or why there some instructions we are normally the chief justice and whatever or direct to court as to how they will deal with maybe an injunction often if no one know what they are, so it guides us. But the practice direction was like say if any kind of injunction or less than 2 weeks they should be very careful. So because of that why may you move in
no less than 2 weeks
but you move in them because they say if it is less than 2 weeks the probability of you getting it is extremely low. Into when you move in time the injunction application the court so that the court could consider it. Now every case law so now there it is generally accepted that when it comes to body or ye busiano or ye busiano na what you want or you wash it or your body or and so in that area it was not easy there. But as I said, injunction is a discretionary. So we decided to, based on the circumstance, we decided to move. We moved it. Now, Senior William Kusi movie, and to the decision of the court, they felt that no, we injunct no because if you know, or you busan when you Japade. Say, okoye bibi there. I'm just saying. If say be okoye bi de na koye busuan funum bi no na even immediate family no bi na busuan funum bi na even that time no will seeker maybe the outcome could have been different but year and ideally what I can remember no on kan ebusuan no obowari room do ye busuan de obowari room but when it comes to funeral arrangements are different but a year a body day or ye ebusuan de so court name rule in our favor and amidst objections were raised about documentation I don't know. Now after injunction we decline injunction now or they movie into court in the timelines into timelines or the bear no or they work on them application for directions since application for directions and whereby a stage you draw issues a the court no determine in some na woman a the court no CC obia list and let the other bar into with opinion on for list so any issues they want the court to determine at the end the buying issues no true there Akosua open no year there aside there if supporting determine down ko to no year and ko to betima yakuna then Odobonin so lawyers so what they when issues what they I think the only people want for issues and a funeral home for I want one for issues and into not a lot into on the day of application for directions court or let's stay out a work and then issues into work maybe CCA na streamlining into at the end of the day we had about 11 issues. And of course,
from our
onion, ebuso penny or dobroni, yen issues in time 3 issues na ekebo no 11. Yes, for determination. It's 11 issues now courts no they will determine. But one thing about when it comes to issues for determination, obitima bande even court and say if the court on the throne judgment, and in this case make a court now as in her ladyship. The moment a judgment babane is not coming from her again, is a representation of the court's opinion. In Tebeka, there is an embodiment of the court's opinion. In the determination of if your true judgment now, be a true in this issue here into be able to striking out true or right in judgment and with them into after application for directions, then we quickly have to move into CMC. That was on the 12th of November or so. Into CMC no, and whereby after application for direction, or do be a cultural name massam. Into there one thing a day, some one. Now, me for we some fentrim, or do we so counterclaiming after yes, some into what could they be a counterclaim? Why the answer is sue. Into sue, and answer is sue, as I say. In time, plaintiff no. In another way, answer plaintiff. As I say, into Odo be approving the case. And only sue soon in a court and day. Mammy Akosua Serwaa, no year. And also did yes, I'm only suit and all the counterclaim or the bend court in the Mamia say one Mamia Akosua Serwaa no year after the time that is 26th of July 2025 Lumba will no year. Then the second one had to do with it seemed there when declared that she was customarily married, like one member can or Warren one member can do. Then it seems she had about 3 counterclaims. Now one had to do with Nikuna no se bibidam. Into Ansu Siwi. Into you do CMC state that was on the 12th of November. Meaning another timelines. In fact, I have to say that I did not be in the exigency of the case now, because of time was of the essence now. And now my lady Podo meeting now. Normally it takes time. Maybe the mobile take time kakra and Sunday team. But remember the court has done well. With regards to timelines, which will meet, Into Edu CMC. CMC after all case in some control, what kind of statement of claim, one summer those are facts. Okay. When they in say, one summer they are facts. Into Edu CMC or they file witness statements. Now, witness statements, one evidence beam. Okay. As I say, one evidence. One evidence. Into Edu find a misstatement of claim. Maybe I'm a MCA Buana Telioshi. Man, I'm a man. Maybe an MCA was why enter defense. I am not a man. Or a fact no one can. I'm a miss of man. I am not. I'm also a man. As I say, what can the mark on a fact? Now you have to prove it. Into one or the yes, into one of the chim there. The Quinta or Cheddar, I am a man. Now the crowns to make sure I'm not a man. You get it. So that statement or statement of claim now, who defense now, they are pleading. Second pleadings are they are statement of fact. They are not substantiated with evidence. Okay. When you flesh or a fact, what's America keke? Interfere or they're substantiating. So you do what can employ a witness statement. Into witness statement one now evidence now the printer there. I only 2 man the crown also record on ya only 2 man I don't know. Obi add an evidence, baba. So you add it to your witness statement. Now attach will be then you attach it. Now yenzi and Mami Akosua Serwaa nankasa mbonku as in one testify personally. Into or the tunuma obi de on kasa man. That is Mami Georgina say bonsu. Okay. Seems like a very close friend, very close friend. In time of the two medicine in same day, on Casaman, on testifying man, on Jina man. Now, a member man is in a Fosu. That is a sister, Akosua Brimpoma, this senior sister. Now, so, okay, or be testify man with regards to our warriors. Now, yes, Supina, one. Suffolk Tanka, and with regards to culture in some Nadano, yes, Supina and Dombra. In fact, yes, Supina on record, yes, Supina, German name is in Ghana, and it's on record. In fact, one proof of service Nadina Bay. But you see, the problem with those foreign consulates, and they say, though they are in Ghana, they are not really in Ghana. They are sovereign states on their own. Diplomatic relations na them into what they want. A supina now pure member or pure omba intimation. Unlike David and Empress, my supina or their bracot in media dance next ember and you between yasho, a boom brother or a contempt of court na I say. But I want the intimation. You need them up your member. Up your omba. Case up your member. Intimate and conquer. They have that diplomatic immunity. They have that diplomatic immunity. The Muslim Ghana embassy, even Germany, they have that diplomatic immunity. Okay. Into German embassy, German government for one to conquer Ghana embassy for our Germany or they banner. Well, Germany courts now better specify you can force them. So what but we subpoena them all the same. Now we had wanted them to speak to documentations now. You start case, you start hearing. In fact, according to Evidence Act, the moment ever mounted witness boss, with documentations, with evidence, there was a Thatcher. Let's say What to one now opponents no be can or at that moment no do raise objections.
Okay.
Inti in case and normally they start with the plaintiff. Inti our plaintiff I don't know be open case. Inti in this case Mama Akosua say one ne attorney no that is Mama George no say bonsu mo be kesa man no. Ana no do open case into attach Mama Akosua say one ne documentations as in ne marriage certificate ne power of attorney na translation a way no German into English. Now Ghana Institute of Languages one translation or together with other documentation via videos they attach into amount say no they raise objections with regards to documentations no. Now my lady here in the day at the time an injunction no or directed that we should have the authentication into one signal William Kusi as part of the argument it was a lengthy argument with regards to objections no we raising no how authentic those documents are and identity mama put into it was quite a lengthy argument. Now Senior William Kusi sorry no reply or the one there when it comes to admissibility of evidence it's about the probative value as in the weight of the evidence no. Now it's about admissibility there if it is relevant there will be jatum. Then the court will determine what to do. So, or cite cases. And now, they were coming from the angle there, that is the defendants. One angle in here was based on Section 161, Subsection 1 and Subsection 2 of the Evidence Decree, 1975, NRCD 323. Okay. Now, that's Section 161, 1 or Subsection 2, or based on the facts there, if it is a foreign document, you need those authentication. Okay. And then a court na after there or the way it's better than every them. You need those authentication. But you see, for some reasons, and for how wise the legislature is, what the another subsection would shame that is Section 161, Subsection 3 of the Evidence Decree, and that one was to the effect that if there are some circumstance, some exceptional circumstance being certification becomes a problem and authentication of those documents becomes a problem, then the court can give parties no reasonable time. Now, when I say I want one investigation for the authentication, then the court will waive the certification.
So, Mubisa, my lady.
That was the cross of our argument. Okay. So, the cross of our argument, in fact, Senior William Kusi made it on record to the court that these are practical hardships we are facing. And believe you me, when it comes to those certifications, some of the embassies, trust me, they don't even know what we are talking about.
Some of the embassies.
Some of the Ghanaian missions abroad, they don't even know the process.
They don't know.
No, how many cases now?
Me, certificate was like authentic.
Now let me tell you this. Okay, let me start. You see, when it comes to the law, there is no assumption there. Judge Bianim, Bibianim, all the laws. Even the Supreme Court, they sometimes get it wrong. Okay. Internet reviewer, they can sometimes change their mind. Okay, no, first you can do A, but if you say no, you mistake or a B, they can sometimes change their mind. Okay. Because when you be a law, so you research. That makes you a good lawyer. Okay. You research and you read. So, you share how complex the process was. No? There is this convention, we call it the Hague Apostille Convention. Now, Hague Apostille Convention, it was a convention that came into being, that was somewhere 1961 or so. At that convention seeks to do, and it seems about 127 countries are signatories to it. At that convention seeks to do is abolish the complexities which accompanies the authentication of documents. Because they realize that if one foreign document is moving to another foreign document, the authenticity of it to ascertain, sometimes it takes time because I feel they be another coffee say they or check or they do a bit maybe a question.
Abra ye mami Akosua se wa behu na what they ni problem between the wicked name. Pacho Munim say ban certificate, it takes a lot of time. Interpret one country and say, I do we all coin a bit take time.
So you have options to you. When it comes to proof in law, when you are proving something in law, not necessarily about the documentations, but if there are other corroborating credible evidence, link in some now, you can make your case out. For instance, I'm a colleague one. We were school 2013. So the fact that to me finish some certificate Ashwa, does it mean them I'm colleague one? However, if I'm able to lead credible evidence to show in some BC in the BC to show there indeed require, you get it. So you can call in credible witnesses who better testify. There were options.
Okay.
Though we knew it was difficult, but you have to get it out. And based on the fact that the time was also of the we had a short period. And so we considered all those conventions, but what we realized was that Ghana was not a signatory to that convention. And since if Ghana was a signatory to that Apostolic Convention, American and what it means is Germany is a signatory to that convention. So what it means is we'll carry all the documents to German government. Okay. Germany. They will just authenticate with one single document.
It was saying,
and everybody, we are not signatories to it. Ghana, you're signatories to it. So we couldn't take that option, but that option would have been faster.
Okay.
You get it? We couldn't take that option. So the only option left for us, we have to go through the systematic authentication. That is section 161 and section 161 subsection 1 and section 161 subsection 2 of the evidence decree. You have to go through. Or if you are not able to make that, you rely on section 1613 of the evidence decree 1975. You rely on it. I don't know more, a bit almost leeway kakra. That for some exceptional circumstances, if you are not able to authenticate it, the court should give the parties reasonable time for them to ascertain as to the veracity of documents, and if so, or authentic and ability. So whether they will make their contact with embassy, who knows how they should get their information, so that the court will give them. And the court itself, because there is a foreign document, the court itself is not exempted from also making its own investigation. In fact, extra evidence decree now, that is in section 114 or so. The courts itself, if confronted with any difficult issue, they can call in expert witness to come and testify. So the court can do that on its own motion.
On its own.
And it happens a lot.
Okay.
So the court can decide that no, because of this, let's call in this expert witness to come and assist the court.
Okay.
Then the cost will be borne by the parties. Or any of the parties can decide, then free expert witness number. But one thing you should notice, expert witness, so better testify or quarter, the court is not bound by expert witness as some of the can. It is even if say, confer a lawyer you or Germany bed there, I'm a mecha, you work and then Mami Akosua Serwaa document and one some you're authentic if we are taking that option. Because if there's education, that does not mean it's conclusive. Okay. The court in Bejatum, the court per its own reasoning can decide the on. But when it happens like that, the court must assign reason. Adukunso free expert witness Obama near 1 Jan 2. You get it? So the court is not bound by it. When you look at section 114, the court has that opportunity. So now, still on the authentication. Because we're time bound in it, these things I'm telling you, I speak them as I have personal knowledge of it. Because I worked closely with Senior William Kusi in Tanochem. So what we did was immediately after working then injunction application, then we made contact with contact over Germany that they should quickly do this for us. They should go to the embassy and make
through email or
those are our contacts. Internally contact on the informal sidelines. So they contacted the embassy. They contacted the Ghanaian embassy in Germany, and information I knew was that they are not too how do you call it? They are not too familiar with that process. That was the information I mean. So and or a year say that say on Yamina, me friend directly into me could a year say, but that was the information we had from our contacts that they were not too familiar. That is Ghanaian based, no German. They were not too familiar with the process. So Senior William Kusi insisted. Then no, they should try harder. So what we did was we had to send mail. I and Angasa Ghana we had to send mail. So Senior William Kusi instructed me. I drafted the letter. I have it here.
But I didn't call letter.
And see, letter in day. After each year, a working president, that's in Ghana president or original president's name or German. Oh, since your case be easy, so and so. Now, because of that, since we been here, they authenticate some letters. In the best ones, we my boy now, they authenticate letters now, given the exigency of the situation to one boy. And they attach those documents, they authenticate or certify with the man. And in fact, we went to that extent of even quoting the session because we had information earlier from young reps or Germany there. They've made the contact and it seems they are not getting better information. See, we wanted to get it right, so we had to quote the law for them so that they know. Don't be on yeah, Babesha one day won't remember certification bank, but because they embrace
okay,
there is the certification. So we quoted in the letter. Section 1611, section 1612, section I can show it to you. The letter, I have a copy of it here. I can show it to you.
But letter need that screen, though.
You have it?
Yeah, we have it.
Okay.
My producer, can we see?
So,
yes.
Okay. So, Senior William Kusi instructed me. I drafted it.
You
yes.
wrote this. Okay.
So, we made the request.
Okay.
Oshay, or no correction, so be woman, yeah, finally, yes, Sunday. If I remember correctly, it seems we sent it on the 6th and 7th or something like that of November.
Of November.
November, yeah. Yes, no, Sunday. So at that time, we did the injunction application somewhere. No, you're drafting the 3rd, you're drafting somewhere 3rd of November. Okay. It seems that within the 4th or the 5th will be yes Sunday.
Okay.
And under a year injunction application, that was on the 28th of October.
Okay.
And immediately yes Sunday, we didn't get any response. Any response? We didn't get any response. So, Senior William Kusi gave me, any reps or Germany, they managed to get the contact of German embassy.
Okay.
A Ghanaian embassy or Germany. They give us the contact. So, Senior William Kusi gave me. This case, I've been his right hand man. I'm supporting. Obako battle for them. I'm not them prepare. Me a BBA or them demand. So that he will lead the charge. Okay. Then I will follow. It's a learning process. Okay. So he gave me the number, Henry Frewan. So I called. In fact, the information I had was, anytime a phone they are available, you can get them. So on the 6th of November, I personally, from my own phone, I called twice. That was around 5 or 6 1. Then I was like, maybe I know what happened. So out of normal working time. So the following day, that was on the 7th of November, personally, I called again. It seems I called the first time was around 11 I called. Nobody picked. It's 2 hours time, that was around 1 area, but on the 7th of November, let me free you. And to me, free you, then fortunately for me, one lady picked. We were freezing. So when the lady picked, we introduced her. Let me be Sunday. Can she confirm receipt of our email we've sent to them? I said yes. They've received it. That was about 3 days later. Now, so not kind of yes, or confirm that they've received it.
Okay.
Now we will hear from them.
Okay.
You get it. And this was a time we were nearing a work and CMC. You better start a trial because the trial started starting 17th. That time was so crying. So what it means is you have to hatch different plans.
My lady away.
We told the court.
Okay.
Every time we were objecting and we told the court.
They should give you time.
We told
so more time.
Time meaning we have such a timeline, but we told the court. We wanted the court to be in the know.
Okay.
That this is what we are facing.
Okay.
You get it?
Okay.
And in fact, in our addresses, on the A case, you write addresses or submissions.
Okay.
In our submissions, we wrote, under the supervision of Senior William Kusi, He told me, Henry, let it come in so that it will be on record that this is what we attempted. In the submissions, pages 16, 17, and 18, particularly page 18, we spoke about it at length. Now, even there's also cry, we went even further to even give recommendation. I think our submission is senior William Kusidi or the copy Ula. So if you are Ula, idea and committee ma confirm. The copy crowd or the send in there. He can read it so that you would see.
Okay.
So we indicated it in it. And see, when the lady said she has confirmed there, okay, once I can mail, no, we will hear from them. No, we send the mail somewhere around the 6th or the 7th. It was on the 10th of November when they responded officially. They forwarded the documents to the appropriate office for further action to be taken. Now, case no,
but I didn't make.
And see, what Senior William Kusi decided to do was, okay, so I didn't bear. And one thing about proving law, when you are proving foreign law, it is not only based on expert witness. As I said, expert witness, you can come and testify. The court is not bound by it. Or pure befa, or pure unfa. But there are other means of proving your case. Okay. You get it? And in the judgment from my lady crack Kenya, from the if Senanka videos were man, and I heard people saying there, and no video, those videos, Nana Akosua Serwaa, Lumba was signed or case. It came after the case, after the judgment had been rendered. Okay. And see, then we had to hatch another plan. In subpoena a German embassy for somebody there, Nombre speak to working in those documents. Now, this is the situation. Yes, about the authenticity of those documents we have. And this was even against the backdrop that they had even given us confirmation letter from German embassy. I will confirm that the documents we have is authentic. Meaning who that letter. About
one what the bay.
In fact, that letter, that confirmation letter from German working an embassy now, what confirming the Mami Akosua on the document or authentic. Though it is coming from the German embassy in Ghana. So that it's the German embassy, but it's German. You know it's in Ghana, it's Germany. So even the confirmation letter itself needs authentication. You see our plight.
Okay, more TV.
Okay. So the confirmation letter itself. Yes, though it was given by German embassy or Ghana Day, but they are not in Ghana per se. You get it? They are in Germany.
It is like if Germany nearby,
it's still cry. You need authentication. It's a foreign document. It's a foreign document. Into Sophie Germany no be you. So if Ghana embassy no fear you. They are all foreign documents. Okay. So the confirmation letter itself, no other confirm the cry still needs authentication. Wow. So this letter was even part of the document we emailed to Ghana embassy or Germany. They should authenticate all these documents for us.
Okay.
Instead, anybody that the German embassy can provide them to speak to those documents. But as I said, what don't if you're lucky, they can come. If you're lucky, they will not come. But they are not bound by your subpoena and all court processes and that. If they can come. So they didn't come.
But now this issue is very
yes. So Ebikade no Senior William Kusina 1 year one authenticate documents now. This is the effort we put in, and we made it go on record. Or by any submission, we wrote it there.
Okay.
There, this is what we faced.
Okay.
And in fact, we made even recommendations in our submissions we wrote to the court. Until now, we're left with one option. The option was to rely on Section 161, subsection 3 of the evidence decree. And then when it comes to the authentication of documents, Section 161, next section is Section 161, subsection 1, Section 161, subsection 2. I wish that Nankobitim we that session American they can pull it up. Into Section 161, subsection 1, is about the fact that foreign document or foreign signature, no, official signature, to be deemed authentic if it has been certified.
Okay.
Then section 161 subsection 2 no talks to the fact that such certification or prescribe the procedure for such certification. And so the procedure, it talks about the fact that nipa no wano or sign any signature or by the new position or hold in the was sign, then to certify, attach it to the document there is original, is authentic. Now the subsection section 161 subsection 3 will give us a leeway.
Okay.
Leeway there. It seems the lawmaker foresaw something. They realize that it is possible that somebody might encounter challenges in authenticating documents. Okay. Time factor. So the lawmaker gives the leeway that if for some reasons you are unable to authenticate, the court should give the parties reasonable time. No authenticate document. If reasonable time is given to the court will presume that the certificate is authentic. Then the court will waive the certification. It's the certification and call the or embassy one. Because that opportunity has been given the parties, okay, they should do their individual investigation as to how authentic those documents are. And if they are able to do that, the court will waive the certification and call there and presume it to be authentic. So that was what we were leaning on. And even before section 161 subsection 3 of the evidence decree, when you look at section 136 subsection 2 of the evidence decree now, it talks about the fact that the most of authentication is not even limited to section 161 alone. Our argument, even in court, when they raised the objections, our argument in court was like section 161 section 16 section 136 subsection 2 says that the most of authenticating documents is not even limited alone to section 161 or they call Ghanaian based one or they certify is not limited to that. Any argument you make to the court the court should look at section 161 subsection 3. But for some reasons unbeknownst to us, the court did not side with us. And my the court and the judgment now, it was like if we had made that attempt, we should have brought you to the notice of maybe a court and something to file something to show. Sure. But you see, funny enough also, actually paragraph 117 or so. Is it paragraph 117 or so? Let me check. Actually, either paragraph, is it 117 or something? Actually, the court says, the documents now, if the German embassy there now, or confirm the mamias, Akosua say one of the documents in your correct, and that is man now with the true decision or to whom he may concern. That document, the court commented on it.
Oh, yeah, documents or
the document, yes, the court commented on it, and this was the comment the court made on it. Court in the from the observation, where would they attend that? That document, that document also needs authentication. Today, section 161, subsection 1 and 2, But, now, or something it's a Herculean tax. Or say either there we authenticate it or we can bring in somebody from the embassy to come and testify to that document. No, there is a Herculean task for us to overcome.
So that means there wasn't time for you
to court to you Ada no e wonu krampo e me on the day after the court nangasa no problem no there is either we have to authenticate it under section 161 subsection 1 and 2 no court now so call forward so there is a Herculean task for us then yes still the court judged us that we couldn't authenticate it under section 161 subsection 1 and 2. You see how it is.
So in all judgments nearby, were you satisfied?
Oh, obviously no.
Because there was no time.
Apart from the certificate, when it comes to proof in law, it's not only by one means. To them, what can then? To them, my lady, we had to call a court, we had to call expert witness saying, no. It's not really about that. You see, when it comes to foreign law, you must prove it by evidence. Every case law, even the Godka case in court and class citing, that is what it says. You must prove it by judicial evidence. Okay. So when it comes to evidence, what is evidence? Evidence, a writing subject, anything when you present to the census, you can prove your case. So do you think that time frame is the any one so count them? It is. And at time would you see Papa date? It is very, very much so. Time is count. Time, yes. In fact, you are appeal because I am any case in there aside the authentication the evidence will lead a trial. Okay. At least if the same facts are presented before a judge, a different judge might come to a different conclusion. Wow. Oh yes. You see, in South America, when it comes to
with a different evidence,
with the same evidence, with different conclusion. You see, when you read judgment is just a portion of whatever happened. In fact, a record of proceedings is like this. And see, every good lawyer will be measured when it comes to reading judgment. Because there might be some things the court itself will not even avert its mind to. Okay. But even on appeal, even some but this one was there, so why this? Now the trial court came to the conclusion. So we had the instructions from our client that we should appeal. So we are appealing. Our belief is the evidence we led in court was solid. In fact, although Bruni did not testify, Ebusopeni testified. Ebusopeni testimony near hearsay. It was hearsay. And I have the record of proceedings. I can just you can just read it. The record about 186. You get it, about 186. And we're given just one day to write our submissions. In say, 24 hours, then we're just reading and writing. Okay. You read and you see the inconsistencies, then you'll be writing your submissions. So it has not been an easy game. Inti, Akosua, Odo and testify. Now, even the message evidence is about pieces of information to build your case. But this is even the situation. Odo not testify, man, no. Also, a credible evidence or a credible witness, you know, or admit it. When the witness in there, they knew about the marriage of that Lumba in Germany. They knew. Yes. Also, when the witness statement, no testify. So a Akosua. They said they knew. Okay. It was in the witness statement and the cross-examination. He admitted that they knew. But some cross for the county day. Lumba Beja will be selling about an hour, not so. And Mamma Akosua 1 hour a day. Why you? But the family knew. And Senior William Akosua, when he was doing the cross-examination, he intimated that that place will come clearly. So they knew. It was Senior William Akosua be someone and a cross-examination will be a witness in there. The dad Lumba, apart from that, did he present any divorce certificate or now or now or with Germany? Akosua say 1 hour can answer no. We say that Lumba will provide the baby them, but and the money there. Now we're on wide and we go. And so based on that, no proceed. Now what J? Our no. That was on 10th April 2010. That was it. 10th April 2010. So in some extent,Okrano, they themselves they knew there was an existence. Yes. V. Floor 1 question. One. I'm paying 40 and 1. And they are yellow. Nipa back one. Kasa 1. Okay. Lawyer, I said I'm making statements. No, I mean put you on record saying me lawyer, me call law school. But yeah, you go feature no. It's your analysis and questions. Kaka one and person bisa. Now, mean what problem kaka with the wakan? One mentioned problems are hodwa munya ya mwintimi amfa authenticated certificates no anko. The kind of what's it time na ebre
enimu afa na ebe na enimu afa no anye bia mutimi tia court ne na so chen so say the case ne tie ne hia ebre kakra na yetimi e de akoye ni makwakope ye evidence no ana. 2 o see a complex se ba ne se wo pese wo authenticate certificate ni free amanonia. In fact in Sambia waka wa ha me sure embassies ni be tia, they will not be happy with you for you to say omuni knowledge of how some of these things work. No, I don't think they will be, because almost they know what they are about. And you be am finding out who say a bread do saying a bedi and sana e bia wo satisfy process now on saka, because from judgment it who some of the assembly call 2nd October if I'm right. It's a free 2nd October copy bra judgment in better form no. And you be a brebe na mususu yesen kamu call the right procedure na kamu sabe kasa authenticated document na motimi e di atwe. Now no encoder nche no
one into patramani answer.
Okay. Ne patro.
Okay. So when it comes to projection now, in fact you've been in your first work there and intimation with timer on your family. In fact, at the time, if I remember correctly, some of our reps are yet sending one or don't find out some family. The information we had was what can them the ambassador is a bit indisposed. That was the information. And I don't have personal knowledge of it, but that was the information we had, that the ambassador was a bit indisposed, so the process might take a bit of a time. But we didn't project time there to wonder, because we knew some of these administrative processes they will take time. But we made it known in the letter there. This is the problem we are confronted with, and time is of the essence for us. We want to try as much as possible so that they will be able to help us. We couldn't fix time for them. We couldn't fix time for them because I don't know when the office. I never better in time ahead.
When you have the perfect response in your head, but your fingers just can't keep up. We've all been there. Type.
Nyina ebekwa wiye na sabe de eye timwa meka se mranim ni a na oka eye lawyer kusi ho ema wono mo ede asem na ekodan court lawyer kusi apia ono ena na echeche nsemu ede kire eye UTV ahwefo no Oheneba Media ahwefo na ba bi okasa ye no okokan se the Hague Apostle eno ansem bi obokan na ye pese esu ade kakra wo hwe say the Hague Apostle the crown den the Hague Apostle den the Hague Apostle Convention convention make say emra kuo bi a wiase amaman ahodo na ede omo sa hyase agetum ni nyina afa kwan a ye fa so authenticate legal document ebi ti say marriage certificate ebi ti say university certificate and educational certificate ahodo any other important document ye timidi free my mu e de call my for so kodi juma driver's license any ade said the lawyer no explain the process no na o chere say authentication na also me na was file a lot of processes mu was call Ghana embassy Germany na everywhere a batch processes na doso but the Hague Apostle Convention no emrakuni ni bi anase emrakuo bi a wode ato eno no wo hwe se owo krata bi a krata hu hia meka se document legal document apese wodi kodi dwuma wo manfoforo so a enka omman na wo ye wo mu na de betimi abo krata to so direct a wode be ko omman foforo bi aso de kodi dwuma eno no hu hia so be go through long process bi mu na wakwakoye de wo so enti wo de amenken kan kakra de emra no eka no ne hwe se Ghana are we part of the Hague Apostolic Convention? If we are not part, why are we not part? Now, lawyer, for no one say Ghana is not part. No one say it will take certain time and as a certain duration. And sana document free Germany bano it's me authenticate and omentia court nice so and say omutia court nice so the lawyer no ama ho emwaye nti ye behwe ne abobo hu afa no bako ne assign ato so akofa live feed no e de abroad. Now ebusuya the Hague Apostolic Convention was say it's an international treaty from 1961 that simplifies the process of authenticating public documents for use in foreign countries. It replaces the old multi-step legalization process with a single standardized certificate called an apostille issued by a designated authority in the country where the document originated. This certificate verifies the authenticity of the signature and official capacity of the person who signed the document, making it legally valid for use in any other country that is a party to the convention. Said the Anamidi Kaya Mekano, Sad the Hague Apostolic Convention, a year convention, make us say, Mrekuo, a new Tumubia, Yakwa Pamadia Tumuse, say no, Tetano Pese with the crater free Germany, Bagana, Bedi Juma, and a person the crater free Ghana call a year via Sama, who do for Scodi Juma. Was a real reporters be a far process be bremu, a Fakwa Hana Win Stampiso, Fakwa Democrat Antoso, Fakwa Kodi translation, Fakwa a dorsum. Beside the Hague Apostolic Convention, and no, I dare say, we are some mamma who would be a jet to say, you were quite crowbar one, so persuade the crater free woman, a common for and no, says Sacrat and your bomber wa, baby, I never call ya say piano, ye did to say authentic, I am could be someone, some Yanko Case, Kofa will be Branome translate, and answer court now we Uncle Sign, Fako High Commission, Fako Consulate, Fako Embassy, Fako a Hefan, there be a Yenisa. In the Hague Apostolic Convention, the Ejina Ho Emanano. Now, a nearma Hodo document, a Hodo aside the Hague Apostolic Convention, Ejitum year 1, birth certificate, death certificate, marriage certificate, educational documents, which is degrees, diplomas, any certificate. I think it's legal documents, which is affidavit, powers of attorney, and other official documents. 18K, Sir. The Hague Apostolic Convention senka o my Ghana ye ka hubia and ka menye sure say we ebetimi afa that long process na lawyer ne kan ebi lawyer make a certain important pointer what say you taking into critical consideration say omo etia temuafo ne nai so concerning the time frame no mo de gi authenticated documents na dia break court no omo tie temuafo ne nai so Adentin otemwafo no anya hu bibri anaso ye hu bibri a omo break kwesi breben so won fadi hu dwuma before lawyer kwesi ene ne lawyer for ne mama Akosua say wade asem ne be kodan court no were they aware say they needed this authentic document e dey court and amon be no mutu yansa no mo ko file omo legal case no because you know him say assembly court in the month of October 2025 and a judgment by November 28. It's Yabeka say Temuafo dey about 1 month, 3 weeks, barely 2 months, and a assembly ebu aye bibia. Enti na sana time any omafa. What did they do about it? Ebio said they na lawyer I can say odobroni ede adanse ebaye. That's witness. Ebusapene fa bia ma any ade no nyina no ya asem a ye wi a ye beka ho asani ahwem ene enti what was the reason here to one for the judgment but ye be compared to the judgment of Justice during that Smith at Tebusia ensan call UTV studios na yankofa show no embro ebre kwa enimu no ye the some critical points be here explanation no ye the bebre mo what
can mean maybe in 1 month,
okay,
2 months. There might be some case reasonable time. The court can say that okay, I'm giving you 2 days, I'm giving you a day. Go and do what you have to do. So when it comes to reasonability, reasonable time is the discretion of the court.
Okay.
And with the discretion of the court, it depends the case at hand. You know, the exigency of it that will determine. There, okay, take 1 day, take 2 days, try and do this.
Okay.
Then, what it means is that under Section 161, subsection 3, you know, the court itself, you know, if or find there is a bit difficult for the court to to see as to whether this one is original or not and give them. What it means is that the court also has an obligation to bring in maybe an expert and to do maybe some consultation, so that it will give the court also that information that it needs. Because per section 161 subsection 3, no, the parties should be given that reasonable time. So the court itself can also do that background checks. You get it?
Arnold.
Council.
Specialized.
Nyamisha. Mebo abaso for effort a modi shame or proceedings no. And I also sympathize with you, say more bar losing side or because me sure say more going to the way now anticipation is a be winning. You know, outcome by you know. I sympathize with you. Until the empress bisa will say, oh you're satisfied, will say obviously no. Until me sympathize with you. But council, bibi me na kakra. I have quite a number of reservations, but I'll go into it when we are doing our submissions. But okay, about time. And the reason I'm saying that make us are very simple. Case is starting now, you need say a public oriented case. You need DHA. And I remember vividly, Tama judge a castle case no be in term lawyer could see. In many of his interviews, was sure-footed and confident. Say, "Oh, judge in the crown will be before a year no time as to true or false."
Oh yeah.
So that gives me the impression, say, you knew the duration of case in the beko, and you were satisfied with the duration of judge in the castle will be the case in manner compatible. I am a little bit confused when only with senior lawyer, you agreed, said. Judge no be finish the case no, at this particular time. More objected to it. In fact, in all your interviews, you were beaming with smiles, overly confident. Say case no crowd there, with the time in your mind. Man having any issues with the time. Now, in your we know what about say most happy the German embassy here. So here I am sitting here say. See, a man with 50 years now, what's up in a German embassy now? Or Panoba and so true or false. So time even here is any factor. Again, in your submission, okay, say you share 1613. It just put in quite a like effort. Would the effort be a shame? And we expecting say judge no be rely on 1613. No demo as a man patch sanity. Again, that has little or nothing to do with time. Because some say more rely on 1613 now. You are telling the judge say why they say we na it's unconsider 1613 no di mo asem mama. So that has very time has in time in
so if say a chemist submission because of the time factor we relied on 161 subsection 3 and even 161 subsection 3 no talks about factors, some circumstances are it's like beyond your control and that is where it fits in. You get it? So that is where we are saying that we are relying on it. And with the time factor, we knew there no one sees a time and medium. Yes, you see, when you are going into battle, you don't only strategize just one. As I said, when it comes to proof in law is about adducing credible evidence. So there are so many means of adducing credible evidence. So the authentication is part. Subpoenaing somebody from German embassy is part. You can call expert witness as part. Based on some admissions through cross-examination, which will come up, is also part. There are so many means. If you have videos, if you have pictures, there are so many means. So you strategize that if this one doesn't work, this one is there. If this one doesn't work, this one is there. You get it? So you don't put all your eggs in one basket. In America, them there. Though time did it, but we also strategize for other means. You get it? So we're hoping that those other means would have afforded us,
Okay. You ever say about it, Ola?
Ola.
Question one.
One.
Any question?
Ola Kasa.
The reason being that.
Oh. Ola, what third floor? Ola Kasa. I don't know, yes, sir. Ola.
The reason being that, first of all, ruling by nominate my boss said the home come extensively to understand most of the things.
To what's in your mass?
Yeah, that's the first part. And the second part being that some of the things that we were not privy to, we've been able to read and read again to be able to understand what's really transpired. I don't know what my ETS said the way I know you see whom man and yes, and city.
Okay.
Especially when I had somebody to send emails to German try to
send
the scene and understand. And then that's where I came to understand some Hague the Apostle.
Apostle, yeah.
Yeah, I never knew about it.
Yeah, I talked about it.
Yeah, no Munisa.
Apostle, yeah, the Hague Apostle Convention.
Yes, say yeah, no Munisa Chakano. It say open document certification. Yeah, the idea from where it's not as easy as you can get with other.
You can get it.
Yes, other countries. No.
This will be or Germany. You want to be in Jemba.
I don't understand that one.
DHL.
Okay, ka obi nkojina na mu.
Yes, said yeah. Yeah, maami ni hano. Na obi jine mu mano. Yet me mo obi power of attorney. No no sun ko jine mu o Germany won an konje that.
Say no si chairman no. Obi betimi ajina mu aje. Ba ontimi from I just said be see Ghana Germany embassy or Ghana.
Okay.
No, obi akwa akọji afiro. So what I say. Okay. And now the second thing so they say omo the type I will send email about that obi anfio. I just offer.
Okay.
Because say no chiremu no owo woman mu de battle den ordene ho untimi nhye no. You know, these are some of the things I made sure said after reading it over and over and I realized that these were some of the things that affected or more. But Ketu Ebini say it's an aminiya about time.
One.
Yeah. The end of the chat to crime because I'm never breaker. Naminiya about time say lawyer could see because so time no be on be before a year no. But let's also bear in mind say so judge can meet me a year before a year now. Year 13 will meet me a year by 12. Or my specific date. Or see me year before a year no. Maybe before a year. A year 13 for.
Me Ghana for artist say year ni abema stiga jiga or fear and musinti yene lawyer ata area na che say obetena akunye ni na kase hit.
No, but
area me wo bibi kakra to
no. Originally, no.
It's no.
No, originally, no. Akaso baby was even connected to the 6th, not even the 13th.
But yeah, good. The emphasis a sitter. So maybe before a year now, she could have finished by the 5th or by the 4th. Meaning before a year, no. But within that period, no, there could have been some time left for the session 3 to be, put in action, like giving some considerable time for us to go back and forth with all these documentation and stuff like that. So I think say appeal, no, maybe if they look at it very well and put things together properly, I'm sure something will happen. So also or more, yeah. So that's why I'm adding that Serwaa can be there.
It's a classic smile.
Oh, them that council, yes,
lawyer, no busa one question go. Now some me busa me say who make key statement to be. I mean correct to kakapa. What analogy be say Oku University with certificate saying so na fa no say you. What they know your example say it will be difficult for you to get the certificate and you correct.
Oh, man
no, sir, analogy now will show.
That doesn't mean the chairman colleague. Say if the certificate is Showbiz, that does not mean there should be so many means to prove there. Yes.
No, you don't need to do other things to prove.
No. But what I know, they don't print second certificate. Oh, what I know from Legon, I stand to be correct. Okay, what I know from Legon, they don't print second certificate. In fact, even when you change your name, it's difficult for them to recognize
National ID card.
That is different.
Any different? No. Any different?
The universities are very careful.
No, it may keep records. Listen, Ayera, unkwa ko prove. Also, utimi prove say Ayera. Utimi prove say Ayera. You be plentiful for them.
Let's. I wish.
No.
Ebia already free index number there. Once you have your index number.
So we say difficult.
I doubt.
What's say difficult? And
they do a second reprint of certificates.
And I'm say, which they say difficult. And say to me, some are for. I
don't know. Let me ask you.
At the set,
don't even know money.
At the set,
national identification card is different.
Universities,
no. What's the song with doing crying? Apart from the same it's very difficult for the universities for them to recognize it because of fraud and some will change one results. It's very difficult for them to take cognizance of who changing your
statement. What make you imagine also busa question today now? Tio, who change of name we are with the buy university. The money is difficult. They say okay, nipa cannot correct. It a be a resource correct the buy enyane dia so ni musade it wonya di wuramu wi a afi no ko change ni din amane simtu ono nkasa din it wini o apply a university ni betima investigation akọ primary school akọ ye I so say e wansa so ni musade take time ni take ni say enye ibi SHS pa no mo ko check primary school ni no ko I sure say wa before say yes. So even within the same country, no, now marriage certificate from another country to Ghana. Lawyer officer, a simple say verification. Any de keka huni na obinya na simple.
No.
Aha. Now, as lawyers they are saying, you say mojuma ba ko ne say obi the case bra wo ho. Now steady case na we say case ya wow ya mama sa advice no counseling
meeting
me say obi the case bro obi the steady case na say no case we
I'm listening
ana wow into ye ko ni say mutime ya
oh yes
somewhere
yes we do that
min mo lawyer obi the sikasem bi command o hwa asem ni din na o say asem ye kwa ibe lusu
oh we do that
etimami nyinam na ye ko seta asem no so mutime ya
oh yes we do. In fact Senior William Kusi, for instance, or apostle, into some cases we were oh yeah. Wow. Some cases we were
better.
You can just tell you, go and settle. Don't do this. At the quarter, this one it won't help. That's more than 20 years at so you advise you don't have a case.
Okasa kan nyina no meet me catch say man ye fair to am Akosua Serwaa. In that submission na chere say muhu complication bi ni complexities bi wo asem we mu a mo de boss wa e be difficult me ba nya botere ma me
okay
na motere ma me en so mo ma Ghana fo nyina nya impression is ade na emere because usi nya ba out wa na ohun bloggers cameras na ye tin sama woka e mo bi anya afek say other side for kwa no mo ye mo hyehyɛ wo mo because of my who said the is simple. But I know submission each no from the beginning.
You see.
Say a lot of complications. And I'm a boy. And so me bow. You see me friend is over to Baba. Tio, the friend is over to Baba. The nurse bisuntin also over to Baba. It is said they na senior eba outwa. Or move be so are really kuku. But because me come me go to tribute okay was say a best static case no obode bidin na idru ehwa na bi hu bibi o yusu twi bi che say ehwa na obekere the power enne akosi ba bi akosi ena motra chirim
okay
ipacho what ma say eti adenti na mama madam ehu say ante say wa ehu say ade no enye simple sa
so the life of the law, the lawyers will tell you the life of the law has never been straight and simple like that. Into every case, Bia presents each one. It's not make a day. The same facts, the same evidence, when presented to a different judge, will come to a different conclusion. In fact, you see, anytime make a day may come to a different conclusion. In fact, you see, there is this school of thought in law, American realists. Oliver Wendell Holmes will tell you the law is in the bosom of the judge. So what Judge A we will say, Judge A, record of proceedings, we will see, but this place, He admitted this, he admitted that. Based on this, no, he deserves it. Another judge will not turn the mind over there. Obekacho, no. When I look at this, when I look at that, he doesn't deserve it. In some America, the same facts when presented to a different judge, he may come to a different. In fact, this year, we've won a similar case like that. Senior William Kusi, we won a similar case.
Like that. We are.
Oh yes, foreign marriage. So based on in America, the judge based on the fact presented to him, the evidence led may come to a different conclusion. Judgment or opinion of the court. You get it? Judgment, the opinion of the court. So somebody can even somebody
is a case before this one. I say after
so
this.
That was even before.
And
in fact, even that one. So even that one, you see, even that one, authentication was a problem. But you know, there were so many ways we laid evidence to prove.
That's how I highlighted to you.
So you get it.
This one, there was so many ways.
Internal maker there, when you are proving in evidence, so many ways, provided there are legal means of proving your case. That is evidence. You get it. Internal maker there, the same facts presented to a different judge may come to a different conclusion. The same facts presented to a different judge will come to the same conclusion. You get it? So, judgment or opinion of the court. There have been situations, somebody will not get it at the trial court, will go to appeal, will not get it. Will go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will be like,
lawyer.
Then they will change it.
Judge and judgment is not based on law.
No, you see, I have one belief, I have one opinion, me personally. That is why I always welcome dissenting opinions from more drain out of the box. Because I have a personal belief that it's either we are all mad or we are all right. It's either we are all correct or we are all wrong. There should be somebody who should think outside the box. When you take judgment, so what for judgments now can you think they write it simple like that? Watertight. But on appeal, it turns into something else. What it means is that when you sit down, when you do your homework well, on appeal anything can happen. Judgments are not written lightly. So say nanka dam na ote there nanko bia lo nkwa appeal because every judgment is well written. So it's up to you the lawyer to read and see where you put your foot.
Said what judgment now or just ordinary essay.
Oh, every judge. You see, let me tell you something. Okay, Mamika You see our Almighty. You see, one of judges and recent times I revere most. I have extreme respect most. His Lordship Justice Dochi Oko retirement. Now you see Tago case, I remember, I'm not sure you seen Ameboa. Tago case, yes, Dochi, he wrote it. Quite a nice judgment on appeal. Well, you them on the courtroom, they said it was cancerous on appeal. They said that judgment was cancerous and it should be removed like a tumor from our legal system. So there is no judgment written lightly. So that is where, when you get judgment, when it comes to judgment, it's just a fraction of the whole thing that happened. You get the whole proceedings. It's like this. Which is not before you. You get it? What is before you is pieces of evidence, then the judgment. You cannot come to a firm conclusion or maybe a different conclusion. But when you have the full, how do you call it, the full proceedings before you, when you read it from, this one is just part of it. It's not even full, it's just part of it. When you have the whole thing and you read, or you see maybe evidence which was adduced, whatever, a judge may come to a different conclusion. That is why we appeal. So we appeal because we want judgment, we want a judge or those judges sitting at the appeal to come to a different conclusion. So that is where we we bring pointers out. We point some places we think maybe the trial court, no. Nanko so you say nanko so den adwin kwa ha say wan fa nkowo. And based on that in here.
Council say you know by next week on appeal no. Still you never bad.
No. We are not seeking, in fact, saying yeah, a work and stay of execution and BBM. No.
So we can still do the funeral.
In fact, for court. You see, Akosua Serwaa is not talking about obey, no. That one is with the family.
Oh, okay.
In fact, since there is another suit affect the family, so worry. That one is the family affair. That one is not even from our chamber, so that one is the family. Debbie. It's the family, so it's a family affair. Appeal the end, but my patch there is I don't know if you know. Yes, yes.
Oh, that suit is not from your
Debbie. It seems it's one craft firm or something like that. Yeah. So okay, that one is a family affair.
Suit in free momo.
No.
It's momo deni ya den.
It's just Mami Akosua Serwaa. She is our client.
Okay.
So you see, Mami Akosua Serwaa on appeal, some of the reliefs we're seeking will be moot.
Okay.
In law, you can do a mooter. It does not present live controversy for the court to resolve. Today kuna send nobody wanna say why you know it is moot. In law, that is how we call it because time every day you couldn't reach him. But you see, the law is such a way that if the problem is likely to reoccur for future purposes' sake, they can decide on it. The court will decide, say, you be decide on the kunano.
Into that number for court.
Into Monday they are going to do settling of records. Into whatever parties in the baba, obiaba betre, ebiana, ye the back and ye from Abedinson all the way, so that the record will be clear. We compile the record. When they finish compiling the record, we forward it to the Court of Appeal. Then Form 6 will be served. When Form 6 is served, you have 21 days to write your submission. We'll be also on it then.
Can I find out?
Yes.
The funeral empress is saying this on the 13th,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And like you rightly said, we lead counsel here, Lawyer Kusi. Yeah. You are representing the interest of Mama Kusi.
Yeah.
So, just a minute.
You have to seek permission.
I'm sorry. My lady,
Carry on.
I thank you? And like you're saying, you represent the interest of Mama Akosua. Yeah. So on Lawson FM, I heard your lead counsel, your senior lawyer, because he's saying that the funeral is going to happen on the 14th. Who sanctioned him to say that to the general public?
Well, what I can say is, Mami Akosua Brempoma ne yakane senkra
Mama China.
Mami Akosua Brempoma ne seems to offer Pokunom ne ade the immediate family of that Lumba. It seems they came up with that date. So maybe if he said that, though I have not watched the video, but maybe if he said that, maybe it was based on that premise. Maybe another can't. But I've not watched the video myself. That's what I can say. But I knew that I remember when they were coming to Chambers, that was the dates they were suggesting because of what's that Lumba Nimbenum dates in favor one and some other in the Mandela. That was the dates the immediate family were suggesting. That's what I can say.
So assuming the funeral numbers on the 30th of December, how will the appeal affect that? Or the appeal process more share for property rights,
so,
will reading, blah blah
so,
blah. So you are not looking the appeal is about something ahead.
So the thing is, you see, you cannot run away from it, but it is an obvious fact that definitely, if I'm to use your words, okay, when the issue came up, is a prelude to something. It definitely is a prelude to who will apply for, maybe if there is no will, letters of administration, all those things. Definitely is a prelude to that. And see, when they appeal, not them are making some of our reliefs, might be moot. Some of our reliefs might be moot. In lots, them are making some of our reliefs might be moot. It might be moot because it does not present live controversy for the court to decide. Today, kunano, because the court in decide kunano, court in appeal now kunano, so what are you get it? But if or a event it might reoccur in other situations to come, the court will go ahead to decide. So that if such situation happen in other cases, this is how we go about it. So there is this American case, if I remember correctly, Roe and Wade, now about abortion case. In fact, when the court reached the Supreme Court of America, but so the court went ahead to decide on the person's right as to whether aborts are at certain age, at certain months, the third trimester or not. You get it? But after that time, you know, then can you look at the case as some why mood because but the court reasoned that no, because when it comes to pregnancy, it can reoccur. So not necessarily this particular case, but there can be other cases which will come, which would definitely will involve this. So let us decide on it. So the court can decide on appeal. They can decide to go into the corner reliefs. So it has not come. We are still making efforts. It has not come. But you see, one thing you have to also notice on appeal, we don't adduce fresh evidence on appeal. Yeah. It's difficult. It's upon exceptional situations before you can adduce fresh evidence on appeal. So those exceptional situations are that, okay, you must demonstrate to the court. You must lead evidence and demonstrate to the court that at the time trial court case, you know, there was some evidence. It was not in your personal possession. It was in the hands of a third party. In fact, you took steps to get it. You didn't get it. You made diligent effort to get it. You didn't get it. Now it is ready. That is the first hurdle. Then the second hurdle is you have to show to the court that if this evidence, if Court of Appeal or Supreme Court, if you admit it, will it change the decision of the case? If it will not change the decision of the case, you can make diligent of effort. The court will deny granting you. You get it? But if the court sees that, oh, you made diligence of a trial now, it was in the hands of a third party, then the court deems it that, okay, let's weigh the probative value. Will it still change the decision of the trial court? If the court will weigh, then the court sees that, okay, it will change the decision of the trial court. The court can grant it. So it's like two hurdles for you to cross. But adducing fresh evidence on appeal, no, it's not easy. It's not allowed. That's the general rule. Yeah. But the exception is what I've broken down and explained to you. You get it? Yeah.
Submission.
Yes. I think somewhere here. Thank you.
Jiga, me mo akwaba. Bibi aboko. Ma bezi ni bremu na. Me dasi. Edi na ebusia penyi ya office onye ni ya ehawo.
Me dasi. Se obusia me cha otifu me am say me busuani so me moja busuani.
Onye moja busuani.
Dabi. Me ne papa no atunada.
Tise papa shi.
Oh, me ba chokasa.
Me ye busheni ba me nye busheni.
U ye busheni ba u
me nye moja busheni.
Nye moja.
Yes. Lumba ne papa she me nuano no. Omo na de me betena nkran 1992.
Okay.
Temene na nete.
Okay.
Na me ne me ma me Akosua brempoma so atena o mampon sa.
Okay.
Enti obai ye na nim se oni wa kontu. Obaye na ye na call like branches feel de bia ye na na call ana omo ye say ye meeting first meeting no so oni ha in case so omo hia na ana bibia ode me si na nan
to no si na nan
na me si na nan ana omo bisa first so say in case oni ha hwan no so mia ana me si omo mi na nan na so okay Inti bibia no okwa me ne abusua pani ba ye na ewo babia oda bibia abusua pani like de bia ye na ne nam inti ye ko fie no na first time calling so usu ne Mr. Iti honorable menu no ni Mr. Iti e din komo bi
okay
nti ewie na sata Mr. Iti onim me okay ba me ne onabo na ko nti ye na me ye pie na me say Collins ana onabo ade nkomo na say ni na me kan nkomo ni na che no so e true na e wotwa ti me ka say ye ko bie account ema like said the bia mo kan wa say me nim no ti ska bia ba enyafo no me na me sign ma mo me ye signatories ni bi
ewo account
ne so ye na discuss so ye ko yi ska say e dia ye say ni akosan afede du baby sika bi free account no ma me hu hwe alert na me ye mfrɛ me minim de ska na ko me nim hwe me so me gina homa enyafo no like tiesa mi bisa Collins so de bia me na mo no mi bisa say honorable ska bi every month oh abusu epani akancho we na so na mse oh ade amu ye e de kasa beba abusu an ntemo me de mi gina omo nti bibi ni a meti a omo be de omo beti ena nche ena date yi she won asema minim hwe about the date e di kai ko first staff house na ye ko president o yankoto no nti ekoto chief of staff receive nice and a by uncle candidate sem satam ye ko chena abona manela DSC the second time I call ne yenim say yanko to president intino ye kono I mean ya tise waba ye call na me come site akoya de na me free o nti me ye na me kra mu na me so me dika o say ye de do don kwan nam na me call nti me say nkrofo frefre me say na mo ahye date na me so o da bi na o so eni ti abonten e wa na ma Akosua bempo ma frɛ me no say jiga na date mo ahye na mo susu na mo anka nche na me say ma nkrofo na frɛ me nim hwe na ye 1 week ni wie no the meeting ye na last na ma Akosua Serwaa ho ma Akosua bempo ma o dobro ni obia ho na ye na ye dwudwen ho se obi si enya ne next year ebi si this year nti ye na no ye dwudwen ho se o eno abusua pani so mumi enya ne this year ntem na nya de satam ye na na meeting na se satam court issue bi anya de eni ho ti decide say ye be ne this year na me kura me ka se o ena mumi enya ne like second week of December num se de be ya akontufo bi a omo ba no omo bedi ombro nya omo betimi aye de ababi ana ti yankasa ye beye anasa yenye ti de ti ya ni date ni na nkotwam na one day bi meni abusu apani wo ni hotel ba oda bibia me no se jiga waka amon friend waka che me babru 5 times say ohun obi o kan create se me no ko obi o kan create se me na da bia no ne na de am so me de me kan create na obekumi kra meka and the tremo one day me ne to say no se jiga me no dobro ni akasa na mabisa ne se oh se kodwo aware na odobro ni na num tom se bra anya ne ho ade na afi na na o se nko be sana busu apani kan maka o Zion Felix interview so da na we so me saka obetimi afre no me Kristo ni o ye busu apani ogunsa enti no obetimi whatever abe kind of person can be I'm ready and I say oh me sane no na me ma me brimpo ma frɛ no say oh ofa Priscilla de we good pa o nemum e mani me ekura because Charles anya de anya ne ho ade
esa ye
mienu na esa de anim guase e be ba be kan busua ana busua pani say oh Akosua me kura maka mabisa na mo si say nti ho kura de enye de yenyi ntu nchai ana ye kan say ana o say oh Akosua unse me kura kodwo minim ne ho hwe me kura me ba nya yie anka minim say excuse me oti isle go na me de mate say oti tantra na minim ne ho hwe nti wo de ye na anim say na oben unwan nti de wo beka bia na ebe de ye befa ana o si yo ofa na eja ye de didi ye nkomo a afede ye hu de be ye de kasakasa we na ba court asem into ye call me to call me by ye kushia o Kumasi airport runabout. Jofe in a family nina kushia nipa bebe meeting na me sa kase offer. O kaisa o kache mi say obia hobi no so le diga ho de fatun na me so offer. Ade ya be oni abusuani na eti o nti se asundwe beba eye wa asundwe so ma eye wa ewiase na ehwe o ana wa obegina ho se o minim odobroni bia na wa fine ana okomu na mpa wo hunu se odobroni oni there is nothing wrong say na onim na say wa be hono but ade a enye yes no fa hweyi na wan ka say dey yes ana me ka chen say ofa o recording say me wo me phone so no me ka say me bobi a kire wa o yembe obi a obi no so dey ndie fatu nche ana me say ofa abusuan yi na no we ji mfa ho una o ye abusuan na hene enti un say ofa asundwie beba ifri wo asundwie ma ifri nti eno me ka kire no obi a obi enti eno me ekoso no ofa hweye ye ho na Mr. Iti eso wa chiska ye na ye wie 1 week no abusu apani sa je besia e wo no ho me san bi 400,000 me san bi ana ye meeting eso e ka wo ho bia ya de ye twia ahwefo nti ha yi enti akoba sa akọ ohene o ye na ewura otumfo me bo mi mu ase e che no akọ ohene o na e ba sa committee no ye ngunu no afede ni mba bi firi o mo se 200,000 na Mr. Iti di chaye no oso ojine sika na me si oh ade aye na ya da man na se wo wa obi anim so di sika na achaye no because ye wie 1 week na ka wo hu bia ye twia ya sign na no ye ho nti ade na ba ya say 200 no dadada no ya nye de ye nya man na affairs ye ngu committee no afi na mo se man na ejine sika obi di achawo de oso oja enye hwe na ye call na nada de so abahene ho o receive ye nice oni ye na kasa na papa ne bisa abusuan ne se committee no omuko shia ye no ye se omungunu na omu pese committee na omu boa me na abusuan na so se omu pa cho committee ne de o maya de na so be bi o maya kosi no omu nya de omu mfansi omu abeto o ma de so mama China kasa ye if you are mrafo ankasa ebi di 80 something 90 number meeting na sibi ana omu se o ye ba efi anya committee bia na me kra me so na me se mpacho mu kasa de a me ne mu nya adwene sabi Lumba nya obia sa keke o ye wiase na Lumba enti no ye we ye jaima mu nko a mu ntimi nya de enti na busu apaniti committee se o mu nya de omu mu ano ana omu se o mu hia
pacho mu ko ohene wo no date no sesa sign
date ni de baby omo ko share date no omo ka say o se on the cc kra na nya ya mo betimi aye ni 13 fa na say e ho kra nya ya mo betimi ahye na mini oba nkoma e course o na no ntie ba na nada de so aban na o de na me o unim enkofo bebebe wo committee no mo self interest mo frɛ na nada de so aban na na mu misa ne se baba yara ono mu so mu kotwia e no okoye de connection na no makwakoye o papa na like sikatwia num ni we say ska on beka so matwia na enye sa papa no e good pa ono ana yi ni bottom sika 20,000 e de atwia e de se o baba yara o omoko uni se politicians de omo face kanche omo timi ko baabi mu misa se politician be ho na omoko ya omo 150,000 omo de 100,000 e de e bai like ko obi say na ye babuan na afa de o say opa chew de wa ya kodu no mo na ya anka ntoko biom kakasa biom na nada de so aban ne ko ka chem se opa ma chew committee no me opesa me ka na so na say bibia be di kuma se me meti akra na ba sa me besan bibia be de na ma besan abusuanfo isu do so nti obi abet o suma me wa akra ba bi dia
o se nsem na wo ka no pressure wo e hit mama ni lawyer wie ni judgment and cool down kakra man cause I know the lawyer do judgment yeah Akusi, okay. Thank you. Hey! Pacho, judgment. Why quiet counsel? Pacho, who is it? You now walk up.
You mean about me that's na Bacho. Mini abema the start free baby. Oh, nti sabaya mean waste your beer time too much, you know. My bonny pop. Sabaya.
Thank you.
You better say. Na asa medical kasano, medical pacho. Say, what? Momo idea, sorry, I'm say oh. Lawyers now more kuma yama mi wa anya idea ana bibi sano. Mimi a lawyer ni. Menim sane sitie obetimi afa case obeye nyoma wo se wuye nyina ebia nkosane o hwehwe no ebi wa ultimate target this say because try and cast a strategy ultimate strategize ya bekwa enkosane o hwehwe no enti no eno nche se ebia lawyer ni no wanye ni obetimi aye bia so but ebia na senior no hwehwe na nkosi senior no peno and a message so say woman mo ka say ebi a judge no waji bribe bia na say one to ne buan share judgment no so oma mo nkasa so won tie won kan judgment no na won share ni omo ye ya o kasa o ya ye bone na me ka say omo nyina lawyer for any judge no oba ye juma papa means our cases we may be the beer. Usually it take about 4 years, 5 years. I say we oh me na me ask am case. Yeah, the 4 years and they ask am trial. So it takes time and it takes effort. And but Osha case when you know lawyers in yeah more addresses yeah witness statements yeah and my judge and it's na see throw this judgment all in 1 month. Okay, nti yanko judgment na so. Wedi kaka near ya maame Serwaa Akosua Serwaa no ohwehwe. O se yanka se ono ni ono no ye na ma ya maame odobroni enhodi ne ho out se oyeye na mema busua no so enhodi we say oyeye and all the transition counts a moment release body name man. And I could Odobroni can say, on also counter claim say, I could say Wakran on ye as at the timer. Ya papa we don't know or ye son say, ya warren a mamre quine so. And you know, say Nicosia. And a judge now had to determine some same way, you know. They are very important. There was a beer when they say, "Your mommy Serwaa ka say, na warrior na oni yeja Lumba warrior no, a civil marriage a Germany." Wow. Enti yamra no so no. Say o ka say o worry wo man bi so na wan worry wo Ghana. E was a wutimi kire court no. Senior awaria e wo man no so no etie e say judge no okọ Ghana school wan ko Germany school enti onim senior German emra concerning awaria etie and the Supreme Court can so many times say so we person prove say emra wo kro bi so eti say ya the best way to do is to use an expert witness. Expert witness ni yet so bia why ejuma na che a titio ebi a lawyer ni an academician obi a wachro book and be on those topics and to obetimi aba be gine mu akasa ama court na agiatum and say na minyi aka na enu mpo no ebi a court no pa we kasa minyi ntum ba say wanyi antum a wo say o kire ni nti a obi a expert from another e dey amount now say wanyi ntum nti generally no say you will prove expert witness is to use an expert from that jurisdiction. Na ye ni case no court ye mama Akosua mo amfa expert witness no anko so na mum almost submit documents na chere say you can say marriage certificate sign omo frɛ no and omo de other documents bi ka ho and no match as echi but we dey emphasize say marriage certificate any you know omo de at the core say marriage certificate norm de core no na signature mami Serwaa na yewura Lumba ni signature any so enti say who I was saying ka who prove say expert also prove foreign law no say na Germany awari etie na wentimi improve a ye mra wa Ghana na judge ne say improve expert law na fa law no to say Ghana law sana mra na koyo and going forward now the judge had to now also determine case as if say or determine awari ayahye no Ghana so on say net oba share and again and krata ni ade a na omodi aba e kire say awari no yahye no Ghana. And honestly, so we share ordinance marriage either in Germany and now we in Ghana. Ordinance marriage, one of the first things are ultimately say why with certificate. Because who are you church, who are you AMA near ideas agree and why certificate near the mouth. So and Mammy Akosua say one certificate now what they buy, send your medical canon, none a signature ni so. Na yewura Lumba so a signature ni so. The judge and they say, me father say, Sadan Sidia Mudia Bay, a Ghana dear. A Ghana certificate, usually, my signature also. And Nipa obedia dance your mammy, Akosua Serwaa, and Bako can say, oh, no, anyone who say, woman sign certificate, which means, so who's almost signed here, and I was saying, also. So, it's all shy na any sono. See, Sanchez, a mania ding, said Mediatum. A bio certificate now, Modi buy na a kuta any almost signature, a kuta or before for German penny movie signature or wabuchi. Now, what is certificate be ba and how the document be ba nekuta or be certificate or be signature? Not a citizen of that country. That should be first certified by Nipakono and as an agency no wohono. Say a signature where you're authentic because judge not Ghana no and a Ghana. How will we know say that signature is authentic? Except Nipakro issue document no or best certified. Now apart from so what certifying, I was say what they call embassy no Ghana embassy na wo ho no. Our Germany ho no. No almost so certified. Say oh yajitum says our signature we free sa bia we I wo Germany a. So it say because yes na ba Ghana I know na boy me yajitum and I judge mbeji atum because obi anu obetimi akoye sa investigation diaba na che say yajiatum say sa important na nyentia sa authentication and as I say any 2 years say we be find say crojin no important ni say you see evidence ansa ye bejiatum no I was say yajitum say certificate ni ya crojin no necessary say you be determine say sa signatures ni ade no authentic ampa so no omantimi Mami Akosua amantimi am making sure say sa nipa authenticate ade no obeya no e wo Germany anas obeya no e wo embassy ho no judge ni ka say edin say
nipa no so ni ho bio no
say a baby no free until they certify from there and then they go to the embassy. Okay. That is what it says. Okay. So not just yajiatum. Now you rely on a lot of provisions waha. So at 161 no 123 and 123 no third one no na me show waha na for the yintino me nya nanka yankan ne quickly na yintie near at unica or say if reasonable opportunity has been given to all the parties to investigate the authenticity of a foreign official signature, the court may for good cause shown, good cause shown, order that it be treated as presumptively authentic without a certification. And you say, some mama me and more parties in and some mama time, some check say certificate in your authentic. Now move back to me, showing say obia reasonable effort. And say we can it here, now we can it here, now we can it here. Now judge ni can in boom. Now say okay. And I even judge in the say mean you can also question ni bika ho. Now so can in boom. He is given the power to presume that it is authentic. But okay judge a year or say all those documents, effort no mo ye no. Ama me drew nanim. Asa me drew nanim. Say let us ye try ye edema embassy for say effort mo ye all those things she was not aware of it. Well, so sa me drew nanim. It is very difficult to say from where she is sitting, say the effort was being made to make sure that the certificates are authenticated. So, and like I was saying, say, well, Ojiatum say a Ghana, a man who follows so dear. Also, she say, Nyomana omode emiti the standards are set for a Ghana court. And then also medical can say or say there was no signature on both sides. Like Obani signature ni ho, Bemani signature ni so. Nti Osha on to me admit to say and I say okay, so me exclude even all these documents from it. I was saying to me share say what the other evidence by bet me prove to me say still mami any papa worry by civil marriage. Nti dia bio na mode breme, mode picture ne buy. Picture mode buy no. Picture ne kire say be man your party who almost signed document. Document no obi ehun ade kure wo so. So enti no ebe din ene mrem for he had to sit there and say me share document pay the abremia. Picture pair the abremia a say na almost sign a marriage certificate. It's very difficult to come to that. If I categorically say senka video mpo home poa Ghana they met me as stock I say okay we can say we can because video they are worry na yeah worry nti e be say some questions usually most of the time it is consent nti you be say obi a consent say open so well, nzinka no crowd buana mane I come to the conclusion say aware bi koso. So enti amami who say some of the pictures and some of the videos na about no that any judge nani. So what I say and I know that amami because e bia na lawyers no crowd busa say give us all this evidence na yemfa ko prove case in mouth but obi anfa mom. And clients always do that because sometimes ye case out to me my pressure me here yeah farm now and so assemble like I said na say na we cry you know but court there they be an obe determine a case based on the evidence their brain and court system no most of the time almost all the time and yet the judge responsibility say obeka copy evidence ni bi di abebu obi because yes sir onye yempo yes waje bribe na nka yes o judge no hwehwe no akopɛ we nya o de beba betu nanim no ɛno no de ebe ye adwuma Bajo, okay. Oh,
Macho.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
And see,
It was wrong. I'm following. I want to understand the routine.
You are my co-host.
And so I say, on to me, NG and Nuntum no. And I say, but there are certain things, yen na ya 2 months case in your best start. Yeah, you lawyer for maybe I yeah pleadings. Near the pleadings teacher say, oh, be chopper, say, Massam new say, into shiny say, mammy. Now the evidence I call. All the evidence acquire. The first thing is so be at the evidence be bad, no be can't send be now on an peninsula. You object to it. Okay, so we play we are just on it here. So one objective to it. The first thing I judge in the final say we na fana no correct. Unless they say there's other evidence on record. And Buamana say okay we there and yes on it here. And you can say. Mami Akosua from 1999 like Obiajitum 1991 Obiajitum say Owae Daddy Lumba by custom. Well and no it was Obian challenge lawyers now challenge and yeah a fact.
So that means after they know say no yawa mamini or Lumba
customary if you are because Mami Samra Mechi say Mami Akosua timi prove say na warrior na why was German and no ejinemu na judge ni G2 mu a enka the customary marriage na hu hia because or converted the call and I say judge ni G2 mu a enka ontimi hodi say Mami Odobroni oni Lumba why because so why by custom na mra ya G2 eno ye monogamous and ma ho kwan ma ho ware bi nka ho nti emfa ho whatever enka ontimi nyintum say oni mami Odobroni aware but because or say the proof to prove say civil marriage na existed in Germany was not and enough. The final standard of women to me a new standard, you know. But say video no before the court. Once the evidence via no evidence the judge or pronounce on evidence as at the time or pronounce no na done him.
Okay, to when undone.
Him. It is a name dear no war and all the can accept. Now the other can asem no so me ameti as a lawyer me instead who man say man no use any man crudging sana man dey BST
e yes o dani bibi e man no use
me tell you very difficult to see say wadani bibi in any way so because documents na foreign say you authenticated so G2 nka court of appeal so betimi aka say no adewe na nya properly authenticated until ombeka say no they can overturn it and sanka yetimi prove or timi mami Akosua timi prove say na warrior ne German warrior say na tie me ametimi ama me ho example my sister oye ni divorce wo America well because or yeah traditional marriage war Ghana no na America for no person omote how Ghana marriage it here and the lawyer be sisi call MP so I'm MP John Dako ono di adanse my sister so and omoji say okay nti Ghana aware say na tie and omoji so nti no a very necessary requirement and because Supreme Court hold this say so what can foreign law is you find say a fact that must be pleaded and proven at all times and because foreign law it misses anytime ebia the next year na sisa until untimi nya establish law on fan to ho every time you be say I'm using foreign law biano you plead it you prove it that's how it is until no or disregarding all those things no not just all share evidence na what record no so my pictures no mu show show for say wawari ordinance no just picture no say and AI ni ade no ntimi
picture one giant
because picture nkwa enye enough for her because I say nipa mi no amote ho a wo mo sign ade how can you confirm say my certificate no mo sign so Lord here prove bibia prove ni here
because na video ni kan ho dia
ka video no e bia anka beboa so
no mo ye bia no mo ko wedding bi no go share video
yes I no me say we see a very important minister man for so dream say gentina court ne ka say mami odobroni and so ye after what hold this say mami Serwaa ye by custom I was say kindness by custom in the court not to no but church mu say Ghana ye waware miensa your traditional marriage your marriage by Mohammedan's ordinance and your marriage by ordinance so na traditional marriage no ba ne bema ene ware ene ebusia na bema no etimi ware bi ka ho so pa
traditional marriage
traditional if any potentially polygamous this of potential and by force
bi account
tradition etimi ware 2000 here so obetimi asho Nkramofo de no it set say traditional marriage no the mam na bless so ni ade by no otimi ware 4 4 and ordinance marriage no there or ware baako Ghana between them and your bar no other nti or explain is no ka say if say obi ware by traditional just otimi ware bi ka ho so and oba mami odobroni so and I say mami odobroni the witness obe di adanse man no oba he no o say aware na ye hihye omo hihye yo daddy Lumba fie wo Tantra Hills no omo okobi and by the way judge ne ka say sa witness no ojini di pa change the other witnesses no also credible and maminka wenche obia say judge bia wo tumi say otimika say obi ye credible and obi nya credible because here yeti he nyina ye kasa ko obi kasa na say bia ntro wo mukra e bia wo unko training kra otimi hu say ade we die for instance me busa question say mazola o shoe ye white na wa share shoe no wa dwen ho be 2 minutes my first impression is unya abedi intro because automatic say white well some of the things that the chair judges no mo come school into the court of appeal me and overturning judgment just easy keke because the judge no be your case no or that advantage who witness by witness better him send your mo send your kasa ni into what decide say we are credible we are credible and I work kasa so na say one seven sisi so and I can we na ochina wa can we ya and my yaka straight away say we are credible and then your watch one witness statement ni no so uba na so obedi adanse ye busa wa ye toto wa no said ya na asema watch one and one na uka and also ye ma efili say we are credible. And the edikan or say papa no di adanse no he was very credible and he said say he was there when they got married. In addition to that no mutimi tender videos show say Lumba na bonus bie na no aka say we ya na ye ne ye maame odobroni ne ye ne maame ye na sew and all those things. The same way Lumba na in his birthday oka say maame Serwaa eye ne ye and also ka ho judge ne hwe no so ka ho nti no oka say no so client no still we gidie say maame Serwaa still or traditional marriage with Daddy Lumba. Nti no or share all those evidence, pieces of evidence now. No, say, otimi establish facts and say, Ayampa, say Lumba ware mame no. Na so ware mame ne dia, nan dia, ni no share ne say, or ware sa mami nyina, no mumi enu nyina, abeye ne yire. Na ni intention no, because by as late as his 60th birthday, if he no otimi still otimi ka say, mame say wire ne yire. And you're not just no GDA say maame no ye ne and na senior oni maame odo atena and then ma 6 there were people present when Owari there were pictures showing say ordinary show obia say oyeye no cheso oyeye no sanka say even po sanka wanya ne ho ade a emremu no ya wo bibi e frɛ no presumption say aware ejina ebema ni oba entem se wo ye bema na se wo ni oba etna na bebia one ne fa bebia o se o me wife ni o na fufu anyinya nim ne se o wife ni o na fufu anyina na makwa yi abom ye se o Mr. and Mrs. na ma ye yi ye kan se motu kwan abom ma bonso abom mo chanta di abom mo ye sa ni o mani nyina abom a mo ye mo ajimu atum se mo ya warefo nti mranso beka se mo ya warefo ebusian pa mo maji atum nti no kire se and o ka se o he pictures na Lumba de ne call was it Nanadu say no also de ne call President Mahama ho or de ne call IGP Dampare ho all those places show programs upon program to show say ne yiri ni nti sanka on worry mpo by enfan sanko emienum ni tin sakura by his actions no nka kire so mawa and sana mra kire that is presumption of marriage. It is there. And our papa na ye mami se wadim omukofa ne ba ye na obedi adanse ye no. O church mu say ye kan ware a one of the things that yetimi determine say aware ewo ho is that bema no che asante amamre no se bema o ye panyimu efa oba usa na so ne ne tena say ne yire na omobia hu se ne yire a ebusua ne fa ne se ye ne yire ti o ma ware mama se one witness and e be kan sa de no wo court so what you say yes Mr. Kantanka wow I just asante amambre no o sa ye fa ne se aware wo nti judge ne kan say even grandpa senka if there was no picture no evidence bibia ni wa chere say oni mami Serwaa mami odobroni ware kura na senior
mpacho witness Mr. Kantanka no na de ne bai
mami Serwaa na de ne bai
okay no obechire ono
de so no shopping no nti oba ya no obeka senior oni amamrete and that is good because court no yepe no kre nti yepe obi owonim die na osa beka no kre nti no ensema okan no eno na judge no kra use here because ono ano onim asante amamre to say Mr. Kantanka so enti no o say the Mr. Kantanka kra kan no enu ni eno kra nso no enya just Mr. yenna ni minua be motia presumption of marriage always there because enya de bia no bi koti obi tinsa but oba ne be matimit na ma edru ba bia emramu no oba ni timi claim say me your wife and abema ma cohabitating for a long time and it has been proven by mo conduct say my aware for
ebusiafo nim
ebusiafo nim but my ama nzina abeji yabeji atu say mo ya aware for
so that means a plaintiff witness ebe boa defendant in the case.
Problem. And you know, judge ni share sa ni omani nyina wahu na odi making decisions say o share that the Lumba oye and oka bibi minim say bi mu aka judgment no mo ntiase oye ya be discuss even the issue of domicile mechanic domicile che say baby a wote so na emremu no usually no na nka baby a wo no ehomra ene ye di adwuma so na emremu ne wo domicile ne wo ni me place of you kind of domicile of origin and domicile what's the other one? Of choice. Thank you very much. What kind,
my co-host.
Document.
So
document is in your head.
Na so kase domicile of origin. The upper chain say, "Honey, wo." And Ghana for baby it is Ebia I want to Ghana, but or US citizen because.
This nipa no undi nine can say Ghana they na still oyeje because ye tie ye say Lumba ekita
German citizenship nti ebi mo fi say oh na say we cry there na nka German for omo ayi om tim perform body cry ni ade e na judge ne kire say wo domicile no a wo na no ne ehwe so emra edi determine wasem so what I say na domicile ni wo domicile of origin ni wo domicile of choice origin no ye baby e wo ni ade domicile of choice ni wa kofa but domicile of origin no lose because automatic ya wo no wo ya Ghanaian wo ya dia lose wo ko domicile of choice na yes wa ba be fasa domicile na emom so wo free baby a wa kwa choose say wo tena ni ade na wo sanse san wo suban ni bibia na wo san ba wo domicile of origin na yet say what to domicile of choice na
passport
encourage just what to actually no was but na ohodi as a fact say who say Lumba betna Ghana for more than 17 years na so bia opeso we Germany no enka obekọ Germany kakrampo but osi the tnabia Ghana our betna awo ma 6 ewa ha nti ono na dream no sisia no opeso Ghana ni
opeso still no kita passport
no but say yeah share the law na was say apply no say I was so apply Ghana law because who say Lumba no opeso tena Ghana no Ghana ni well in that context and judge no otonibo say me share judgment na me who say otonibo eko bebia fifi mu bebi wa okra otonibo na say o me chewe ama Ghana for atiase because me who say interest wo case ni enti anya say interest no na determine case no ba me chere say be obi abenya atiase kakra about sane ye mra no efa aware ho no esitiefa so enti no minim say me pursue ha minim say be a question bi be ba na
okay in the makakana me clarify
cousin
oh me kasa sana ana okay
na person me be supposed to say now cousin pacho ye mami time okọ wire na ni din akasa this name
okay into that issue came up during a cross examination then is in a Schindler into obaware that Lumba now obey Fusu
okay me pacho ye mami na no oti Germany ansana that Lumba le ko ho na oni ni na akoy
into that one means mention but what's the factor ye pleaded and witnessed it ye indicating now there they started dating okay somewhere 1985 1991 no a customary marriage bomso then they moved to Germany
both of them
yes that's the fact we pleaded
because I wanted to know nipa ordinary krata ware no ye mama no ordinary krata ware na say ye papa Lumba no kita krata no de ware
okay into that aspect no yen plead na personally no we didn't act because now it was not really of importance with regards to any reliefs now you see
to who saying
remember any reliefs now you see you know inti what was most important was what were here what could Germany so those were the major things we looked at but they the people the later na yet on China social media sometimes the offense but personally maybe sir mama Akosua make a day I'm like a square to my senior in the night. You get it. In time, I'm prepared man. But everything that goes on, he tells me. Into a friend, I could just say, "Oh, crime in office. You call me Henry Bra, BTB, so that or take instructions from here. I know I at some point, I feel over Sanso over from Henry. Man, I could just say, no. So that I hear it. No, my more then I'll go and present it to him. He will look through. No, take this one out. Do this, do that. Those technical, then he will sign. He will supervise, he will give the technical direction, BBR, you get it. Into the side in a day, I don't have personal information. They the papers for you and the papers for you. And maybe some missing and then need personal information on it. But I am with personal information. They dated 1985. Or Baware 1991 or Bomso Kumasi. Then they moved to Germany. Our civil marriage in 2004. Okay, before you maybe sir. Maybe some missing okay, Martin.
Handsome Pacho, Abrama lady Ekasano, Okasafa, Odobruni, any Lumba, Awari. Now, which we say, if you are Mapama Tarebako, Mako program, Mutu Kwanya boom, a Mutu Kwabo Makwa, Makwa, Nasi Busiano, 2 parties family, because Ukasanya was a marriage age in our is a full grand. A family, and a work sutuni. Inti sesia na ukase bia no masha tareba akon no monko hu ebusi omu tu ni penu o maye ni sesia na asemi abe sesia ebusuan futu no me
ebusuan enti na court determine no se court determine a ebusuan fo agitum ma mencheo
inti se biso anje antum
unti menyintum obia ni tumi nchen court ye show court show say ye bibi no anya yetimi chill contempt ubekwa ko betimi akoda fiase enti ma men go back na men share wase our traditional marriage and a customary marriage no edikan eye between oba no and ebema and eye also between ebusiano mienu no o ti ase na it's important say ebusuano ye part of our reality. Yes. But the most important is say bema ni oba no ebeje penny say won be ware. So enti say bema ni oba tina for so many years and sir anyway it only comes up usually when CCB ya bem because almost dia e obi anka say ebia one day obana na bema ne tiwa na oma tina for a long time na ba kwa sorry say me kwa ko wari obi fufuro because after all women two teens ebia no ne na tina mama ye japade awu nkola ne ade nyina bebre nti the question is the no moti ho ye no na ya wari ananya wari nti sa eyi no na court bem eba be determine say we ya wari ananya wari na was standard and standard nam de ma on say one kasano woni oba no na mo hodi mo ho out say mo ya ware for mo ko program together mo payment idea pepepe mo year donation together ya ware it is so if that is proven in court then the court will say that there is a presumption that na mo ware so I want it ntia empress
ntia no ka so de wow nyata de shemu
oka say a lot of stuff oka say enka omo enka evidence imponi ho a but ojitum said there was evidence say odo broni ni Lumba ware and oto ha so say senka enumponi ho a enka o matna together for this one cohabitation no ni omaye omomo put your whole out as obane bema no enka no cry enough to hold say or worry.
Because it's a me to me aboawa. Okay, paragraph 120 now. No, it's just to help the point. Or say it is noted that customary law marriage can even be accepted through the conduct of the parties or through long cohabitation, and it does not require documentary proof as marriages under ordinance do.
Yeah.
Pacho, what I say?
Okay.
From the judgment.
Wow. I say it. Said I deny on the 12th me Kumasi. Me Kumasi mpamcho. Mamu kama me Kamasi. Kasi pacho me back. On the 12th me Kumasi a blue bar grand opening. Ewe juso I fit an opa 9 on na meeting. Ye kwa commercial break na ye bar. Ye bet yasu.